Welcome. This is Robert Myers P, and today we'll be talking about the XFL. Now, as I think everyone who has kept up with this new football league, and including professional wrestling fans as well, everyone is aware of this statement going around that Vince McMahon is set to lose almost $400 million in the reboot of the XFL. Anyone who was around for the first XFL knows that it was a failure. And now we have a second one. But this is where I'm kind of interested, because a lot of people are losing their minds over losing this much money. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is Vince McMahon. He could probably buy 3 different yachts for $40 million each, laugh it off, and maybe clean his behind with another $1 million on top of that. This is, to us, a lot of money. To him, I doubt it. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm actually kind of interested in this XFL thing. And I think it's kind of what football needs. It makes it top-notch football. It makes it good football, tough football, kind of hardcore football. For those of you hardcore football fans who are watching it when it was actually, helmet on helmets, physical contacts, where you can actually hit somebody without roughing the passers, yada yada, all that extra stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is the safest league in the world, but it is something that has definitely procured my interest. And anyone who has ever started a business knows an actual legitimate business, like one where you actually have to put money. Let's say, for instance, if I open up a clothing store, my own clothing brand that no one's ever heard of, I'm going to call it Cactus, the Cactus brand. I'm looking at a mini cactus now, right? Just for example, the Cactus brand. And all of my stuff has a cactus on it, or the colors of a cactus, or whatever. If I realistically sit there and make a financial plan, I'm going to realize that in my first 1 to 3 years, I will not be seeing a plus of money. Because I've got to then establish the brand while I keep the store open. Also have an online store, put advertisement out there, depending on what my market is, where I'm situated. I gotta know the economy, the area around me, what demographic am I going to be going to, and then to capture that graphic, it's going to be difficult to capture that graphic within just 6 months. It may have a little bit of fun, but it won't be a lot. So realistically, this should have been expected from everyone. Oh, they're definitely going to lose money on this because, well, yes, this may be Vince McMahon, but not every wrestling fan or WWE fan or whatever is going to sit there and click this channel. If realistically people were thinking, oh, it's going to be jam-packed, there's going to be sold out every week, every Saturday. No, that's not a realistic expectation. And I, with the way it looks, everyone is blowing this up a little bit out of proportion. Let's come back to see if they even have a season 2 or season 3. Let's see the increase. I mean, I was looking at one of the games, kind of like one of those highlight videos that people put on YouTube, to see what this thing was all about. And they had kind of showed one of painting of the arena. And to be honest, that is a decent turnout. For an opening week in the middle of February, that is a decent turnout. It's not bad. I mean, yeah, you could visibly see that there were open spots, and it was full to the jam-packed of 20,000 people. But it's not. It's a good start. Now, of course, we want to see improvement. But I feel like Vincent K. McMahon is doing the right thing, knowing that he's going to lose money on this. You have to lose money before you can gain money, especially in the business world. If you go out and put all your hottest brands of merchandise, nothing is fresh, nothing is new after a while. So what are you going to have to promote this new brand? Remember, this is a sport. They are competing with technically now they're not competing with the NFL because they have it on 2 different seasons. But you were still competing with legitimate NFL diehard fans who spend thousands of dollars on NFL merchandise, who refuse to go anywhere else. Remember, the NFL has been around since before I was even born. So, I mean, before half of us who are listening to this were born. They've been around for over 50 years. 50. That is a long time. That is half a century and some. Over 50 plus years. You have people who their grandparents were sitting there watching the Green Bay Packers in like 1965 who refused to watch anything else. They've got their families invested in the NFL. Now, the real thing is, how do you take those hardcore NFL fans and how do you put them to XFL? How do you build your product? How do you market it? Hey, they signed that one. I can't remember what team they're on. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have to really do my research with the XFL teams, but I know Cardale Jones is playing there. Some of you may know who that is. Former NFL player. I mean, think this XFL has the potential to be really big. But remember, they're going to be competing with NFL fans. Guess what? They're also going to be competing with basketball fans. Spring training's coming up for baseball. Soccer is all year round. It is difficult when you are a brand new sport league, and you're not the NBA, you're not the NFL, you're not MLB. You haven't been around for so long. This XFL name isn't established. Yes, the person who is the owner of it is established, but they're established in professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, which is scripted, is completely different from football. And again, remember this, guys. Not everyone is a sports fan. This is for a certain selection of people. This is going to be interesting. I mean, and then on top of that, think about this though. For those of you who don't really like the NFL, think about this. Now there is a second alternative option. So for those of you who are wrestling fans, I'm pretty sure you've all heard this before, especially now since you guys are claiming it's the Wednesday night wars between AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and NXT. Now you have an alternative option for football, which in my opinion is awesome. So now I have two options almost all year round. You want to know why? Because I have college football and then the NFL to watch. August through February, and then right after that all ends, hey, guess what? Now the XFL starts. Now I have a second alternative if I want to keep watching football. If I want to make it an all-year thing, hey, now guess what? Not only do my Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from August through February go from college to NFL. Now, as soon as all that ends, hey, guess what? Now the new league is starting up. The XFL is starting up again. Awesome. So now I can have, I don't know how long, I think it's like 13 weeks they were saying, from February to however long it ends, then only have such a small window for that gap to where you have that football break. Which, in my opinion, is an awesome thing for football fans. I think this is going to be great because technically, the XFL has no competition. Technically, because of when they start, they have no competition in their direct football organization. Because the NFL is over. So, there's like the XFL has so much potential. And then I think they even put Andrew Luck's dad or grandfather or uncle as the commissioner. Something like that. So they're trying to put notable names around this around this league to make it even more popular. You have the credibility. Boom, the credibility of this is really professional. And these guys who are like seniors, you know how they have the Senior Bowl in college? Those 4-year players. Guess what? For those 2-year players who don't get drafted, you have a second alternative option. And what if the XFL does have a draft? Let's say it is successful in like 3 to 4 years. Then what? Now you have 2 drafts that these guys are both eligible for. Kinda insane when you think about the opportunities this is also giving football players. They are giving more jobs to football players instead of sitting on the free agent line, taking these really bad contracts because they're desperate to play, to have a job. Because they don't want to work at McDonald's. No offense, McDonald's workers. I love your food. I get it all the time. But now you're creating more jobs. You're revitalizing even more of the sport to maybe encourage those old hardcore fans who stopped watching the NFL, the newer version of the NFL, which some have said that I've talked to, that's saying it's a little bit soft. I kind of find that one hard to believe, but I can get what they're saying about the rules, where everything is dictated by the referee at this point, and where we have this hatred towards the referees because they can't ever get it right. They're hurting these teams. They're affecting the games, blah blah, like it has been for the past 5 years. Now, kind of put that to bed. So this is again a very big thing, and I look forward. I'm not saying I'm a fan of the NFL, but I look forward to seeing what the XFL has in store. So that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great one. It's been a blast. Rob Ringer signing over and out for ISP. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You listen to it. Come on, guys. Hit that red button. Also, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at InSportsPress. So we'll see you guys next time.